Craig Vahun in the studio, as we always do on Tuesday evenings. Although, if you're downloading this, you may be listening at some other time. Peyton Fleming and Casey Hooper from the WRCA.
Good morning, man!
They ditched Lehman this morning, apparently.
Yeah, he was using after-dinner rolls and kicking sand, so we left.
Yeah.
Can't wait around all day, can you?
We get moving and we got to go.
That's right. And yeah, 2 big rodeos this past weekend.
We did. We were in Roaring Springs, Texas, and Guthrie, Oklahoma. And Roaring Springs, Texas, don't think that's waterfalls and tropical paradise. It was hot.
Yeah.
And
I know the name kind of makes you think Roaring Springs.
And you talk about a lot of history. This little community, it was there. It's called the Montley, Dickens, Old Settlers Reunion Ranch Rodeo. And when we say reunion, I'm talking this year was their 95th year.
Wow.
So all the folks and everybody from that community gather up and come down there, and they have a plethora of things. They start on Thursday, and it's full events Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They have team ropings. They have turtle races, washer pigeons, an RHAA competition. I mean, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And an old-timers dance that starts like at 1, and then we'll end at 5.
Yeah. Okay, well, probably surprised it doesn't end at 4. I think that's dinner time for the old-timers.
I'll tell you something. and the state police are very popular down there. I think they all come out for their monthly quota. Speaking from experience. Everyone get a license plate light. I didn't know I had 2. Thought I only had 1.
There you go. I probably don't have any idea how many I have either. So
they take the probable cause, the PC, very seriously.
That's right.
There
you go. Well, it kind of, we'll leave that there.
Yeah.
And then Peyton, you went up to Guthrie.
Yeah, the good old Lazy E.
Lazy E. Is that where it was at the Lazy E Ranch?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
So, well, it's it's kind of a big facility up there in Guthrie. It's kind of out in the middle of the weaving roads, and it's known for having a lot of ropings, and
right.
It's a great facility. So.
Yeah. Well, good. Both of you guys got to go check out a rodeo this weekend.
Yeah.
So how was it? Were they both? I'm guessing just the Montley Dickens Old Settlers. I'm guessing that was attended well because it's not just a rodeo, so you don't have to be a rodeo fan. It's an everything going on. So I'm guessing the whole town comes out. For that.
The whole town does, and where Roaring Springs sits, it's big staple in that. I mean, there's working cattle ranches in a 50-mile radius. You've got Tongue River and Swenson and Pitchfork, all within that Clark Ranch, all those within that area. And then the one that sits in the Mecca and kind of the staple for that community is the Matador Ranch.
Gotcha.
And it's an awesome place. Great horses, great cowboys. And so the whole community and the whole 2 counties truly support the efforts of this. And the committee, oh my gosh, Douglas Campbell and his team do an amazing job of making sure that runs smoothly. Actually, I have to laugh. So 10 o'clock Saturday morning, I get up. I'm going to the parts store, a.k.a. feed store, a.k.a. implement store.
Right, yeah.
All in one.
Oh, yeah.
That closes like at 10.
Yep.
To get my one bulb for my license plate. So, I don't have to deal with him that night. So we'll leave it at that. But anyway, the radio station from Childress was covering the parade.
Right.
In downtown Roaring Springs. Well, there's not really a downtown Roaring Springs.
You're right.
But Douglas Campbell told me it was the largest parade they had in 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So if you wanna step back into how old rural America, middle America, all American, you want to witness that, go to that.
Yeah, it's really
because
not
it
that
exists.
far, is it?
No, it exists, and it from 100 years old to 2 months.
That is a nice area though, out there past Floydada and south of Matador. I know there's a youth camp out that way, White River Youth Camp, and it's out towards that way. So I've been down there before. It's kind of pretty country down there. You get into some actual hills. Well, I guess they're into the canyon kind of.
But why do they use names where it sounds like there's running, flooding water, and it's like cool paradise?
Lies.
No, it's all lies. It's lies. I was not at all refreshed by any water, unless you stood behind
I like how she added any water.
Unless you stood behind the Roaring Springs Fire Department, who thank you very much for watering the arena.
There you go. Okay, so which ranch are we calling first?
Let's go ahead and call Rodey Wilson first.
Let's talk, do you want to get in some results first of how all that went for these guys?
Absolutely. I'll do the best I can. Roaring Springs actually does theirs where they run one group of teams Friday night. They run 10. And then the next night on Saturday, they'll run 10 more. Gotcha. So each team will go once. And it's pretty tough. Mm-hmm. That rodeo brings in some pretty tough deal. And they bring in some historical ranches such as, you've got the Swenson W.T. Wagner Ranch Estates, you've got Burns Ranch, you got Tongue River, Pitchfork, and then you have some of the newer teams that have come on this year, Francis Ranch and 7V, Holt Land and Cattle, Alley Ranches, and so it was a mix of some good hands, and there wasn't, it would have been hard to be the top hand judge there, and the top horse judge, but the overall of that, first place went to Crossroads, second place went to Ville and TP Cattle, third place went to Wilson Haystack, fourth to Bonds, and fifth to W.T. Wagner Estates. And so being that Crossroads and Ville have already won Haskell and Cimarron, we award the invite to, we awarded it to Rodey and his team. So they got the invite. But here's the thing. When you get to championship, you get your invitation. You got your ticket punched. It doesn't mean, that means you're coming here to the World Championship and it's a clean slate. Yeah. Yep. Everybody starts over. Yep. So they got their ticket punched. I know Rodey, I'll ask him, but I know he's pretty tickled about that. Top AQHA top horse went to Rodey's horse, Lightning Blue Jazz. I know him as Roscoe, big, solid, red roan son of a gun. I mean, pretty stout and pretty handy. And the top hand went to Kai Fuston off of Ville and TP.
Cool. So we're calling Rodey then.
We are calling Rodey.
Okay, cool. We'll get Rodey on the phone and ask him how he feels about all that.
Yeah, all the hype. I talked him up. Now let's see if we can.
Especially since he didn't have to. I don't want to phrase it like that, but he didn't win the whole thing. But I'm sure he's, like you said, glad to get in there because it's like any playoff, whether it's football, baseball, hockey, any major sports playoff. Once you playoffs start, it's reset. You've got a fresh
reset.
Start. Anybody can win. So
totally, and they're last year's world champions.
See, there you go.
Yeah. They want to crave that again, and they walked away with some pocket change. I mean, it's not like they went away empty-handed.
Right.
No, Roaring Springs does it just right. So let's get Rodey and see what he's got to say, how big of a liar I am.
And on the phone, Rodey Wilson from the Wilson Cattle Company. You guys came away with the win this past weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I got Casey Hooper in studio. Peyton Fleming's in studio from WRCA. Now, Casey actually made the trip down there to see y'all rodeo this weekend.
I did, and everyone had that nice, sweaty, flush, shiny look on their heads because it was wretched hot, I thought. But it doesn't take much for thick girls to get heated up, so it's all good. But, Rodey, you ended up, and I tried to tell the listeners before we went on air with you, basically how it all worked. It doesn't, so Crossroads won the rodeo, Ville Ranch took second, Rodey came away with third, fourth was Bonds, and fifth was W.T. Wagner Ranch Estate. Now, that does not mean or give away anything from Rodey because they came out, and it's a pretty salty rodeo, right, Rodey? I mean, it's a tough rodeo.
It's a very tough rodeo, yes.
And I know that, so Wilson on my side that I've got, I think we ended up a little long in the Sorton. They ended up second in the Doctor and fourth in the Brandon. The Bronx, they bucked okay on Friday. Saturday was obviously the better night on those Bronx. And in the cow milking, you kind of were a little long in that. But isn't consistency the key, Rodey? I mean, you don't have to win every event. Tell us your game plan and what you've been thinking all these years and how you managed to come out. I mean, this is last year's World Championship winners, this team. And there's a strategy that goes into this. And
yes, First of all, it's a lot of the draw. It's all about the draw. We in the sorting, we were first out in the sorting, and the cattle were pretty sticky, so it kind of took. You couldn't go very fast because they were kind of like sorting sheep, kind of to say. They definitely got a little better as the rodeo went on, and then in the doctoring, we were towards the bottom, so the cattle were better in the doctoring, and we got along really good in the doctoring. The branding was good. We were kind of towards the middle of the branding, and the calves were kind of scattered out a little more, and we did good in the branding. And then in the milking, we drew a cow that just didn't have a lot of milk.
Yes, they
got a rope pretty fast and stopped, but just kind of had a hard time getting her milked, and really wasn't all that long. The milking got really tough. We were like 40 seconds, 40 something in the milking, but the milking got really tough, and there was like some 22s. I know there's a 22 that won it, 25. But we just try to do the best we can on what we draw.
Well, that makes complete sense because that's the hand you're dealt. And he's not kidding in the sorting. They were sticky. On Friday night, you could not even get them off with the cutting knife. I mean, and at first, when I know when Ville Ranch came out in the sorting, they were the first ones to come out. That's the only reason why I know this. And they had to settle those, for what I mean settling. They had to literally, Chad was in there trying to settle them down forever, it seemed like, just to get them to separate a little bit and give them some breathing room. But in the milking, I would kind of be, I don't know, I wouldn't want to give milk in 190,000 degree weather. Jeez, I'd be dry
sweaty,
too.
With 4 sweaty, stinky cowboys chasing you around on the end of the road.
All wanting to just draw flies. No, but, and then Rodey gets, you were mounted on Roscoe, and I said a lot of really cool things about this horse. He ended up walking away with the AQHA Top Horse Award, and AKA Roscoe. His registered name is Lightning Blue Jazz. Is that right, Rodey?
Yes, ma'am.
And this horse is phenomenal. And Rodey is you couldn't be 100 pounds soaking wet. And this horse is all cowboy horse. He's all cow. And Rodey does a fine job of making it a great team. And you guys really are a good team together.
Well, thank you very much.
What's your favorite part of him? Because the horse is just awesome. It's just awesome.
I don't know. That horse he's really, really cowy, and he's for as big, and I mean, he's like riding a freight train. I mean, he's all there, but he's so laid back too. I mean, you can get him riled up if you need him riled up, but then as soon as you need him to go slow, just relax, and he just drops his head and he'll slow down, and he's outstanding to rope on. I mean,
he is.
He can run so fast, and he's great to rope on. He makes it very easy.
I don't think we've had a top horse winner whose ranch also won the rodeo this year. This would be a first for us.
Yeah, but at OCA they had the winner too, and where they ended up being a top horse. And kudos to Rodey and his team. I mean, we give all these guys a hard time, and we give Jed Middleton's side a hard time, but when you spend more time with these guys than you do your own family, you can't help but get. And like Rodey's got the sweetest little girl, and you watch the things like that grow up, and you're proud. You're proud to call these guys friends. And so, Rodey, thank you for all you do for us, and thank you for going down there and punching the ticket. And now the sky's the limit. We'll start over again in November.
Yes, ma'am. We look forward to seeing you all in November.
It'll be cooler.
We hope.
It'll be cooler.
Hey, have a good one and be safe out there.
Thank y'all very much.
Thanks,
See you,
Rodey.
buddy.
Bye-bye.
So that was one of 2 rodeos this weekend, and I'm off the air. Off the air.
You trip me out. 'Cause when you go like this, I'm like...
Who do we got to text?
Off the air, I Google mapped Guthrie, and I Google mapped Roaring Springs, and just flipping back and forth. Roaring Springs, it's obvious it's flat, dry, and brown. And then you flip over to Guthrie, and I don't know if it's flat or not, I can't tell, but lots of green. There's a little lake there in Guthrie. There's like a little Sports Hall of Fame. I see a Walmart Supercenter.
Walmart Supercenter had, hey, hands down, I bet Roaring Springs had the best concession stand because there's nowhere to eat there. There's an Allsup's where you can go get a fart bar.
Yeah.
You know? But they have the best concession stand. And I know the guys and the girls that work so hard, and I mean in there at least 20 hours a day to smoke the weed. Smoke.
That's in Oklahoma now.
Smoke. I don't even know. Smoke the meat. Now that's kind of funny, actually. There's not a dispensary in Roaring Springs, Texas. But they have goat burritos, and all those guys that work those 20 hours in there doing all that work, they're actually do a lot of the brandings and gatherings for those ranches down there. So I'm talking.
Yeah. A lot of good homemade.
Yeah, the Food Network needs to come spend a time at that concession stand.
Not the processed stuff.
Oh, no.
Deal.
It's the real deal.
Yeah.
And there was not any illegal anything there. I don't know why I had that slip up. How embarrassing was that? Take note, Casey is embarrassed.
Peyton, you went up to Oklahoma, though, to Guthrie, in the land of greener pastures, it looks like.
Yeah,
at least by Google Map. How was it?
It was good. It was warm, but thankfully I was in the hotel for most of it. But came outside to head to the arena, and my car said 111. And so it was pretty hot. So
a little bit of humidity up there. I will give her that, though.
I was going to say, you probably got like 82% humidity.
Yeah, so it was nice. And so
because even in the shade, you're going to sweat with that kind of weather.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I was very careful on the pictures that I sent back and forth to Casey because she was sitting outside. Yeah, swoobs. It's a real thing.
We'll have to tell Craig what swoobs mean after.
But she was sitting outside.
I can kind of, there's a few letters there missing, and
correct.
I got it.
That's what a woman's version of being hot is.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, we can thank Tina Waite and
#swoob, baby.
Barry and Lisa Clower for and I dubbed that phrase in Meade, Kansas this year while we were sweating.
We actually had some swoobage going on in Roaring Springage.
So Casey was in Roaring Springs with her swoobs, and I was in AC and enjoying the good life of the Lazy E air-conditioned arena.
Guthrie's just north of Edmond, just a little bit. It looks like even some of the stuff in Guthrie they co-own. Like there's a Guthrie/Edmond regional airport, so it's close enough, I guess.
Yeah, we actually stay in the Edmond area. It's not too far, so you just make the little jaunt every day. So
how was it? Was it well attended?
It's a very very well attended. It's a huge board and a huge process that puts all that on. The OCA, I mean, it basically benefits the Children's Hospital Foundation.
Oh, gotcha, cool.
They kind of got backing from that, and they give to that, and so the Cowboys and the fans and those who attend are get their heartstrings tugged a little bit. Help the children out. So it's an awesome event.
This year we had actually one of our own, Lainey Sumner, was introduced. She is a patient there at Children's Hospital. Her dad, Keith Sumner, is on Whitmire Landing Cattle. And so I thought that was a great addition this year that they did to represent, one of our own.
Right.
One of our own kids. The kid is amazing.
That's cool.
Absolutely amazing. So I found that to be really neat.
Yeah. So
how many teams got into this one? How many teams?
Oh, there was, I think, 12, if I remember correctly. I don't have a list of them all in front of me, but
and who? They're
all in. It's invite kind of. It's all not Texas, Oklahoma Rodeos ranches, and so. And
we'll be calling Doug Branch of the Buford Ranches in Osage County. I guess that was the winner.
Yes. Oh yeah. So first place was Buford Ranch, Osage County, and then second was Whitmire Landing Cattle. Third place was Dobby and Hall Ranch.
Sorry, got the The Harry Potter thing came to me right away. Dobby.
Yeah, there you go.
The little weird gnome-looking thing.
Oh my gosh, it's what is that? If you knew the team, you would be so like definitely not a whatever.
Not a wizarding
Not
team.
a wizarding team. Doug or Dave is going to give me so much grief over that.
Oh my goodness! Well,
But,
yeah. Once you have kids and they get into Harry Potter, and you've seen them all 18 times.
Well, I wonder why Dobby. But, Sam Dobby is actually the owner. His son runs that ranch, but he's actually on the foundation board. And Sam is probably one of the smartest men that I have ever met. And so I'm going to ask him if he's a Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, you should do that.
I think that would be priceless.
No, did we get all of them? Are we going Doug now? Because now I'm off. I have no idea where we're at anymore.
Speaking of Harry Potter, we're going to call Doug Branch. Doug, don't kill me for that. We're going to blame it on Kojak, a.k.a. John Holloway.
Well, all right, we'll call him. Hang on. On the phone, we got him. Doug Branch. Doug's on the phone. Doug, how you doing? Congratulations on the win.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us on today.
You bet. Peyton Fleming and Casey Hooper are in the studio with us, and Peyton actually made it up there. I'll let her go first because she's got more results, because I know Casey wants to talk other stuff.
Okay.
I haven't talked to Doug in so long that I miss him.
It's all right. Well, Doug, I just want to say congrats on the win, from all of us here at the office, and the board and everybody, we're glad to have you back. Going to be at World Championship this year, so congrats on punching your ticket to come visit us.
Hey, thank you. We enjoy coming out there and look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, so just a little cool deal for them is it was a back-to-back, wins for you at OCA, so...
Yes.
So that's awesome.
It was challenging this year. Whitmire's made a run at us at the end. They actually took the lead with 2 events left, and we had to come back and take the lead in a couple of go-rounds to pull it out, but everything fell our way.
Oh my gosh, if it was that close, I bet, Doug, knowing you and Kojak, you guys were probably chomping at the bit, and I felt bad for George and Austin because they were and Riley. Because let's see, you probably had Kojak, George, Austin, and Riley. You had to use them all right there, huh?
Yes. I had to use everybody to win that deal.
You're right.
And George kept his cool. Hats off to him and what he did, top hand, top horse.
He kept it real cool, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And even Whitmire at the end of the deal, and it was all in fun. They were up there joking around, Keith Sumner. He was, hey, George, you turn out, don't worry about it, and they were wanting to help us saddle up and all that good stuff. No, you boys just stay back. But George, he never tilted one way or another. He did what he needed to do to pull it out, and thankful we've got him on our team.
I tell you something, this isn't the first rodeo George got top hand at.
No.
But this team right here, there's 2 sides of Buford Ranches. There's the Osage side, and then there's Craig County, a pretty large outfit. Doug Branch, his kids have been scholarship recipients. Doug has been part of the WRCA family for years. So has this side of Buford. Let me just rephrase that. But Doug always, if there's a problem or I need someone to just settle me down, I always say, Doug, what would Doug do? What would Doug do in a situation like this? And he helps me out. So, Doug, thank you.
Well, we all know Casey never needs settled down.
Yeah.
God, what did I do?
And I'm walking around a nervous wreck the whole time, and she's wanting to know what I would do.
I'm proud of you guys. I am so proud of you guys.
Well, thank you. Thank you very
Peyton,
much.
did you want to quiz him on a few more things?
No, I mean...
darn it.
They actually did really well. They won the Saddle Bronc, so that's credit to George there.
Way to go.
Yes.
So that was a big push there at the end for you guys because it was a close race. So actually,
yes, he ended up having to be in the top. Whitmire's the team that was pushing us. They were actually sitting there. They went out in the first heat of Broncs, and they had the top score at that time.
Yeah.
So George had to be in the top 3 or 4 placings for us to actually solidify that.
And Ozark, Doug, Ozark Rodeo Company, Don doesn't mess around. And so so he's going to have one under him. It's going to be as consistent as you probably could try to be for all these guys, because everyone's a hand. And when it comes to the bronc riding and OCA, it's pretty salty. I mean, It is. It is definitely one that would make or break the situation. And so hats off, man. I couldn't be prouder to have you guys back. It's like old home week.
Yes. We'll get out there and tell a few stories. So.
See, Craig, I'm not the only one. See, Craig Vahun, who does this for us at this great station here at 95.7, he tells me things like, gosh, you guys really know these guys. I'm like, well, when you see them more than you see your family, you do tend to
That's right.
to lean on them a little bit. And now that Craig's part of the family, he's learning all these Casey-isms, which kind of, he's like...
Yeah, would you like to hear some of the ones we talk about off the air?
I was on a roll one day, Doug, and I was like, the dope bucket. And he's like, if I did not know what we were talking about, I would think that there was some bad movie.
Kojak and I still laugh. The first time we actually got to meet Casey was at Council Grove, and we were standing in the hotel, and she introduced herself, and I reached out and shook her hand, and she's looking at me and then looked over at Kojak and was speaking to him. She's got a grip on her like no other. And she dropped me. I was about to drop to my knees. And Kojak sat there talking to her and listening to me and grinning and knew I was in pain. It was quite the moment.
Well, when a New Mexican meets an Oklahoman, we've got to stamp our ticket somehow.
You did. I will give you that. So.
Well, Doug, please reiterate back to the rest of the crew, especially Kojak. Tell him to be tempered. Tell him that we love him and we're going to hug his neck. No, really.
Well,
kudos,
I will do
man.
that. We've got the boys busy this morning. They're running some heifers through vaccinating as we speak, and I've got to get back down here in just a few minutes and make sure everything's going all right. But,
no. Let us keep you. And then that way they could say, well, Doug, he's just busy politicking. He's running for mayor.
Yeah. And they're county commissioners, what they're always accusing me of. But anyway, hey, I would like to say one thing. Hats off to Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association and what they're doing with that rodeo. And, they've raised close to $500,000 to help the children's hospitals there at Oklahoma City. And, we go to a lot of ranch rodeos over the country. And it's a ranch rodeo. But when you go down there, you realize you're there for another reason, and that's to help those kids. And just hats off to what they're doing and all their sponsors.
Well,
I'm so proud to represent them.
That actually, Doug, is the main reason why all of us do this, right? Because we never know what's going to happen day one and day out. And it was, I'm not into tech savvy or social media or anything, but I had a picture sent. It was actually Keith Sumner's daughter, Lainey. I was glad to see that Justin brought her up and kind of did that, because that's one of your guys' own. That's a Working Ranch Cowboys kid. And you're exactly right. These cowboys, everybody wants that romantic side of stuff, and everyone wants to be a cowboy, but these guys bleed a heart like no other when it comes to kids. And thank you, Doug, for saying that. And OCA does do a good job of that, and we're proud to have them on board. So thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I just get behind them and back them, and even with the foundation and your guys' relief fund, what you guys are doing are amazing. It's just simply amazing. So thank you for what you guys do.
You're part of it and have been for a long time. So bring it on, brother.
I hear you. So
well, be safe.
But, we will. Thank you for your time and giving us the chance to speak about everything. And Peyton, it's good to put a face to a name.
I know.
Pleasure to get to meet you.
Just been talking on the phone and doing all the back end stuff and helping you out and getting team cards and all that. So it was good to actually, put a face with the name. And so now that way you know who you're talking to, and I know who I'm talking to.
That's right. That's right. So, and do not listen to anything Casey has to say. It's not true.
Why do so many people say that?
I don't know, but you're not the first one to tell me that. So.
No green chili for you.
Yeah.
No elk meat or green chili for you, Doug. You're off the list, for the Christmas list.
Okay.
Be good, man. Tell Kojak hi.
I will. All right. Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Thanks, Doug.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
And Peyton, we didn't even get into top horse, top hand.
Yeah, it's same ranch,
Oh, yeah,
so
well,
it's
you go.
pretty
Yeah,
easy.
yeah,
And just to follow up talking with Doug, and Doug had some really good things to say about George, so we'll just follow Doug's lead on that. So he actually got top horse and top hand
Nice.
at this event. The horse he was riding was Sun's High Noon, and it's actually owned by the Buford Ranches. So the ranch was just established and throughout all the rodeo.
And just cleaned house. When we were talking a little bit about the ranch teams and I don't know if we explained it a little bit about OCA to you, Craig, but it's almost like Texas. It's almost like Wichita Falls. It's kind of an invitational, historical.
Oh, I got you.
An invitational deal.
Yeah.
So Whitmire Landing Cattle coming in second. When Doug said that they were chomping at his heels and they were just right behind him, truly probably were.
Yeah. It was until the last two events, and I mean it was just neck and neck. So your last two events are cow milking and saddle bronc riding, and they're the ones that everybody are like waiting for.
On.
They're the attention grabbers.
Yep.
They're the ones that everybody come to watch, and so the pressure's on.
Mm-hmm.
When you said luck of the draw, you have no idea how true that statement is.
Everybody has said it, especially about the wild cow milking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's everybody. I think every cowboy that we've had on has said that's just a luck of the draw.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if people think about marriages like that. Is it luck of the draw? Yeah, it's tough. It's really, really tough. And when people, when they cracked that first gate at OCA in the bronc ride, and you probably could have heard a pin drop, And when you're that last bronc rider, or if you're Tanner Davis, little TJ off of Whitmire, and you are George Henry off of Buford, and you've got to do that, man. You'd rather lose by 100 points than by one.
Yes. Yes.
Just me
coming from experience.
No rodeo this weekend. I guess they took the Labor Day weekend off, give everybody a nice rest and
I
spend
know.
some time
I have
with family
company
and
coming.
everything. There
I'm
you go.
so excited.
Yep. But you do want to get your tickets for the championship coming up in November. Get on to WRCA.org. That's the only place you should go to get your tickets, because the link that they have to buy tickets is a real link.
It would be the luck of the draw.
Yeah,
if you
otherwise, if you just want
that.
to Google it, and it'll be the bad luck of the draw if you want to Google it.
It would be really bad, and you're helping some guy living next to the pothole in New York City.
Yeah, exactly.
Who also has Sesame Street tickets and
everything going on in Amarillo, Texas.
That's
it seems like.
Great. It's the perfect spot, though. Go to WRCA.org, and you'll find the complete schedule on there. You'll find hotel links, so you can get the best deals on a hotel if you're coming into town, and then you can find the entertainment lineup. Everything's on there, the complete lineup and everything. And don't forget, the rodeo is the only part, especially if you're just around here listening, around the Amarillo area, the rodeo is the only part you actually pay for. If you just want to go down and experience some Western lifestyle and to see how these people live and work every day, then you don't need a ticket for that. You can go down there and see a lot of the ranch equipment, and you can see you can meet some of the people, and you can see some of the skills they have, whether it be making saddles or working silver or some other thing like that.
Get you a squeeze shoe.
Yeah.
And the
you need one?
express skills. I mean, my goodness.
The Clydesdales.
I don't use bathroom skills. I use cattle skills. I'm very good friends with them.
The Clydesdales will be out there too, and so it's always a fun time for everyone. And that complete schedule is WRCA.org. I know we need to thank Titan Fuel Tanks.
Yes, and Wrangler.
For their support.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't do it without our sponsors.
Yeah.
I mean, that gee whiz.
Yep.
Sponsors and volunteers make the World Championship happen.
Right.
Everything possible.
That's right.
It truly does.
Yep.
Yeah.
Craig?
And Lufkin is the next one.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. We've got Lufkin. And
four more.
Now, Craig, where is Lufkin?
It's in Texas.
Okay, that's what everybody tells me. It's down there by Southeast Texas.
If you live up where we're at, you could just say it's south of here in Texas.
Yeah, because God, we are not west, north. We don't even know where we are.
It's about 4 hours. Everywhere from Amarillo is 4 hours.
It's like 4 hours south or so.
Yeah, it's like 12 hours south from Miami, even though it ends in an I. I don't understand.
You want it to be Miami?
I don't know why. A New Mexican dropped in the state of Texas is quite hilarious.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys for coming in, and we'll catch up next week about probably a foundation type thing.
Sounds good to me.
We won't have a rodeo to talk about.
Craig, I want to thank you for helping us through all these bumps.
We have fun doing this.
We never thank Craig.
Oh, you kidding me? I got a foot. I do. I got a turkey foot.
She don't know where she got her turkey, but
the elk are bugling as we speak. Gary Morton told me the elk are bugling. I do not want to be here right now.
She's got the itch.
I do.
Awesome.
In a good way.
Yeah.